Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. So, quick question. How did everyone like our new newsletter format? You like it? It's easier to read, clean. Yes, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you did not read it, please take a moment to do so. And the other part I want to add is we really tried to be more focused in the emails that we send all of you. So, all of the information about the AI course, anything coming up, role-playing groups, it's all in there. So please make sure once a week, it'll go back to going on Thursday mornings, that you take a moment and you check your spam if it's there, if your inbox is there. If you didn't get it, just email our support team at info@Chirag Shah Coaching and we will get that to you. So without further ado, we shall get started. All right, who here wants to really know how to dial in preparing for a pitch? Everybody should raise their hand. Look, I want you to think about pitches like this. When you go to sell a house, how important is decluttering? How important is staging? How important is prep? The more prepared you are for the presentation, the more personalized it is for your client, the better the outcome is for them and for you. Now, what I have learned in my time of coaching is there is so much ambiguity around what the hell do I bring to a listing presentation, right? And so typically what ends up happening is we just bring everything and we talk about everything. So I'm going to refer back to our MedC group. We had in the email, and I'll put this link in if our team could find the accountability sign-in sheet for role playing for the MedC group, please go ahead and put that link in here during the accountability session. You all need to put in your name, number, information. Justin took the time to build out an amazing spreadsheet. We did not do that. So this way we can start connecting all of you, and we'll have our first session this Thursday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, 11:30 Central. So those are three main time zones. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to go through what I believe are the key areas to prepare for the pitch. And at the end, we are going to do some AI demos on how we integrate these things together and create a really dialed-in experience. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If you do not do the MedC for the sellers, you are walking in with a blindfold on. You're hoping that whatever you throw against the wall is what they're looking for on their wall, if that makes sense. Right? So write this down: addition by subtraction and simplification. I don't need you to do more. I need you to add by subtracting and simplifying when you go into somebody's house exactly what you do with them. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're all on the same page. So for our team here, please just find the link to that playbook for the accountability session. All right. Look, we want to set the stage for a successful partnership. And I really believe in that word partnership. The same way that I believe we should be partners in the way that we work together, you and your client should be partners, because partners are on the same side, right? This is not the us versus them movement where you're the salesperson trying to do all this stuff. It's like the same stupid thing that they have about three-phase marketing. The idea that something could be good for a company, an agent, and a client all in one straight line seems very far-fetched to other people. And I have a hard time even understanding how people don't get that. But then again, on the other side of the coin, if your company's never operated that way, then I guess it's very hard to understand. Now, look, there are all these different things that you're going to want to bring, and think about this as like tools in a Swiss Army knife. You don't use everything in the Swiss Army knife, but you want to know how to use the things in the Swiss Army knife when they're needed, right? So we'll go through collections. This is my favorite one, an agent versus a service provider, right? Because this literally does like the whole pitch for you. Compass one, a communication plan, samples of your marketing. We'll introduce the equity protection plan, the keys to effective partnership. Who's tired of their clients fighting with them about the price of their home that you don't make up? Raise your hand. I find pricing in real estate one of the most interesting subject areas. People get pissed at you every single day when you tell them the truth. Why? It's not like Claire Ackerman decided to say, you know what? The buyers in this neighborhood are willing to pay this much money. The sellers are willing to accept this much money. Your neighbor wanted to dump their home. So therefore, this is all your home is worth. Claire, this is all your fault. You owned all the homes in the neighborhood and you decided to sell it at such a crappy price. And now you've ruined my future equity. Is that what happens? No, but the way that we talk creates that outcome for people, right? So we're going to learn new language patterns. So let's go through collections for comps. And I just want to be clear as the difference between a CMA and a collection, right? A collection is a place for you to showcase your expertise. Some people will send a collection as well as send a CMA, right? And we'll talk through best practices, but here's the thing. 3 active, 3 contract, 3 sold, right? What are we really highlighting? Well, there's 3 key indicators to price, right? Average days on market. If it goes up, it's going towards a buyer's market. If it goes down, it's going more to a seller's market. If it's pretty much staying level, then you could predict based on sold properties. Contract, same thing, and sold. That's history. Now, here's the most important thing that I took away during the COVID time of sold markets. Who here is in Florida? Anybody? Do you remember during COVID, like every single month, the prices were going up and up and up and up? Well, during COVID in Florida, what we had to figure out was this. We figured out that here's the prices of a home today. And over the last 4 months, here's what they sold for. Now, the sold date is the most deceiving date in real estate. Can anybody tell me why? Somebody has to know this. Just unmute yourself. Mark.
It doesn't reflect the time it takes to do the deal.
Okay. The time doesn't.
Yeah, because it's usually a month after contract.
Bingo. The day the house went into contract, that is the market the house sold it, right? So if you show up to a listing presentation and you bring that aspect up, you're going to look different than the other agents, 100%. But here's the important part. How many people go on those caravan tours? A lot of you, right? If you know all the open houses, the broker open houses, neighborhood information, you show the property, a collection is your place to showcase that expertise. Half the time you can get away with just talking about the agent only remarks because they don't see any of those remarks, right? So prior to going there, it's a good place for you to show your actual applied knowledge of data. Now, take a look at this. Now, I don't know anything in my life that has ever taken me as long to create as this one slide. This thing took me like 3 hours almost to make. And so what I'm always trying to figure out how to do is, how do I provide the information for you where you have to ask a question, the material does all the work? So I would say to somebody, I would say, Miriam and Denise, can you please take a moment and just review the sheet that I'm going to share with you and let me know what type of real estate relationship you're looking for the agent you partner with. Now, if you look at this, this goes through everything, right? Mindset, communication, marketing approach, access to property, transaction handling, client involvement, post-closing support, value of client. All of these things are there. Now, take a moment and look at this. Transaction handling, scattered tools, spreadsheets, calendars, and emails. Employs an integrated billion-dollar technology platform with a built-in checklist and deadlines. Interesting, right? Client involvement. Client only sees final outcomes or gets sporadic updates on progress, rarely offers a transparent window into the process. Invites clients to a secure online hub for shared timelines, documents, and milestones. Provide a clear view of next steps, deadlines, and any needed client actions, creating collaboration and trust. Pretty simple, right? These are one of the assets that we've built into Marketing Center for you. So you'll be able to then go and put this into your presentation. Now, if you look at Compass One, we've built this wheel out as well, right? Now, these are all the different things that Compass One does. It is a collaborative approach and a true partnership to real estate. Think about it. 90% of the time your clients call you, it's for basic information updates. So anytime, anywhere, any device, any detail about your transaction. So these are all, again, different tools in your Swiss Army knife that you'll need to be able to talk about. Make sense to everybody? Wow, we have like 2 screens plus 1 person. So my dream of getting everyone with a non-black screen is slowly coming to fruition. We're at like 40% today. So good job to all of you. All right, communication plan. This is something that everyone wants. Your clients want this. So let's talk about this for a second. If somebody wants somebody that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, what are they telling you? One person unmute themselves.
They're
That they're gonna
insane.
have a nightmare.
Who said that they're insane?
They don't know what they're doing.
Yep, Katrina?
I
I
said they're
said it's
insane.
gonna be a nightmare.
Exactly. They,
Yeah,
they, say that again, sir?
so they want you to work on demand.
Yeah, but my name is Chirag Shah. I tell my kids all the time, my name is not on demand. It's not what my mom wrote on the birth certificate when I was born. But they don't want a real estate professional. They don't want a partner. Do you know what they want? An indentured servant. That's what you are, right? So here's a joke that I used to say when I was an agent. You know, the last agent said they're available 24/7, but can I ask you a question? It's slightly humorous, but just indulge me here. Would you prefer somebody to start a relationship with you on a truth or a lie? They're going to say, no, the truth. And I'd say, of course. Well, then it doesn't make sense because, you know, everyone sleeps. Who's really available 24/7? For God's sakes, even drug dealers go to bed, right? Like no one's available 24/7. And in reality, what somebody says, if I operate, I'm available at 24/7, whatever you need, give me a call. And then here's what happens. Your clients call you all the time for whatever they need. And then you guys are coming to me all pissed off. Like, Shrug, my clients are calling me all the time. Like, why do they keep calling me? I'm like, well, what did you tell them? Oh, that I was always available and whatever they need, give me a call. Whatever they need is not clear, concise, quantifiable. It is an ambiguous statement that implies that you're available for everything. That is not the way that high-end luxury services work, right? So here's the thing. How it starts is how it goes, right? Now, here's the other part. I like using this word, and for you, those of you new, you hear me refer this often. Some people are just batshit crazy, right? Like there's no other way to say it, right? But here's the thing. The reason that this communication plan works so well is that people that are crazy, it flushes them out, right? They'll say, Shrug, what you say completely makes sense, but you know, I'm kind of needy. I kind of need, they'll start giving you their truth, right? Because it's like chess. You put the move, it's like check. Now it's on them. That's it. So look, this gives you the preferred communication method, frequency, types of updates, working days, working hours, and your emergency policy. Your clients want structure. Now, here's the thing. Most of us sell really expensive homes, right? And these same people all generally have, I would say, dual income households of $200,000+. They work with admins, assistants. Imagine going to a doctor or a dentist and the doctor or dentist said, yeah, let me take my calendar out and make that appointment for you. You'd be like, I'm getting out of here. Where's the admin? But as Charlie, my buddy, always says, if you don't have a VA, you are the VA, right? So everyone take a note. Start saving 5 to 10% of all of your closings in a separate high yield savings account, right? There's like SoFi and tons of other ones that you can get 4 to 5% on your money as it sits there, right? And save 6 months of a salary for a virtual assistant and then go hire one. So if you hired one at 25 hours a week, let me do the math. It's about $1,100-$1,200 a month. So you need to save like 6-7 grand. So when you hire somebody, you have a runway and you can set them up for long-term success, right? Everyone needs a written communication plan, and we have a Compass template that you can use, and this is available to everybody now. Samples of marketing. Pictures, video, digital marketing, print collateral. Who here has been at Compass like 6, 7 years? Okay. Jennifer, what market are you in?
West Los Angeles, or Los Angeles.
Nancy, what market are you in?
Pasadena, the San Fernando Valley, East LA, Nila.
Do you guys remember when an SGM recruited you and you stepped into the room and on the table was all of this beautiful marketing? Does anyone remember that?
Yep.
This is exactly what you want to do for your clients. It is an experience. It has a lot of thought that's put into it, right? So if I had postcards, if I had print ads, if I had pictures, right? Why do they call them high resolution pictures? Well, guess what? If you print a high res image, it looks really different. Now, I would not suggest putting these into one book, right? It's called creating the experience that you want people to have. I would put all of these things on a table, right? I would put my extra large iPad. If you don't have an extra large iPad, go buy one. You should have one. If you show up and you work at a technology company, you shouldn't just show up with all random paper. And so when you have samples of your marketing, you can ask them a question. Now in sales, this is what we call anchoring, right? So if you go out on a boat, you know how they have all these different buoys, right? What's the point of a buoy? So you know where to go back to. Well, I call this anchoring because you're dropping and anchoring. I would say, Jennifer and Nancy, if we had this exact type of marketing for your home, and this is the way we told your story, do you believe this would tell your story in the way you want it told and ultimately attract the most buyers, which will help you maximize your equity? You want them to say yes. Why? We need as many of these agreements in their own words because they're programming their brain, number one, that this is best for me. Number two, the other part is when they want to cut your commission, I make a face like this and I go, can I ask you a question? I'm really confused. And maybe I just missed something. And they're like, yeah, Chirag, sure. Do you no longer feel that our strategy will get you the most buyers through the door? And they're like, no, yeah, of course we do. And do you still feel that there's different marketing that will attract a larger buyer pool and tell your story in the way you want to be able to? No, absolutely. So I'm just confused, right? Our goal is to maximize your equity. So what part of this are we misaligned on? Oh no, but we want to pay 1%. Can you take 1% less off your commission? No. Do you have any other questions? You just shut up and let the silence brew. Yeah, but Chirag, we really like you a lot, but like Mark and Jennifer and Nancy, they have this amazing team at Coldwell Banker. Sorry, guys. But they said they do it at 1% less. So like, so completely hear what you're saying. So you're saying your goal is to maximize your equity. And they're gonna say yes. So I know your time is really important. And if what Jennifer, Nancy, and Mark offered, you are happy with their marketing, you're happy with their plan on the way they're going to maximize your equity, what specifically had you take the time out of your evening to meet with me today? And I'm like, then here's another trick, right? You could draw it on a piece of paper. I literally don't have a printer or paper or anything here, or else I would do this for you. I would draw out $1 million in big letters and I write, or $10,000 in small letters. And you could say, look, how many things can you focus on at once? I'm going to say, now you get one, right? Our goal is to maximize this $1 million, or is your goal to save $10,000? Has anyone ever taken the time to share with you what happens if you don't get your positioning on the market correct to begin with? Because here's the thing. Discounters, do you know what else they do? They're serial what? Fill in the blank.
Double enders.
That's not what I was thinking.
Overpricers.
Yeah,
Overpricers. Overpricers, right? Has anyone taken the time to share with you if you discount your commission and you position, don't say overpriced, right? Position your home on the market incorrectly, what happens? Share it with them, right? You start showing them on your iPad, that big iPad that has Wi-Fi on it. Here's who you're competing at. If you're a buyer Would you pay this price or would you buy the other home and why? You start getting them to reason. You don't tell them anything. If you've noticed anything in the first 2 sessions I play this strategic game of chess. I'm always asking questions and I'm giving enough rope to people to help throw their way onto the dock if they choose to. At the end of doing this, if the people are still delusional, like you just move on. All right, the equity protection plan, like in doing this, there are a couple different parts that are important to this. And people are going to say, Chirag, this takes a lot of time to do. Yeah, no kidding. It takes a lot of time to do. You're selling something that's potentially millions of dollars. It should take a lot of time. And you're making tens of thousands of dollars in commission. Now, people get home inspections wrong all the time. How many times do you think people actually read disclosures? Nope. Do you want a nice way to steal other people's buyers' listings? Everyone should raise their hand, right? So we have clients that literally take the equity protection plan. Now, what is the equity protection plan? Look, in my mind, and I was a naive kid when I started real estate, right? So things just did not make sense to me, right? It's like when I asked my dad about pricing homes, you know what his explanation was? He owned a stationery store. He said, he goes, would we ever buy inventory at a really high price and then put it out on the shelf and let it just sit there? He goes, no. He goes, so don't do that with houses. Like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense, right? Now, I remember the first time I did a home inspection, right? It was like literally it was my first actual house that I sold. The boiler was 50 years old. It was maintained every year, and the thing looked like it was going to die. But it worked because they flawlessly maintained it every single year. Now, what ended up happening was the buyer asked for a new boiler. So I was in a lockbox place. The seller did not want me to accompany showings. They said people should have their own space. I said, no problem. And so I asked the agent a question. I go, please excuse me, I might be naive, but did your clients not go in the boiler room? They did, Shrug. Okay, so did the boiler look like it was brand new, young, and fresh, or did it look like it was going to die? It looked like it was going to die. Okay, so then they still made this offer, correct? So if they wanted a new boiler, why didn't they put it in the offer? My client won't give you credit. And I learned in that moment, you have to be 100% clear. So what do we want you to know? We want you to know, and buyers will keep this when they buy the home with all your branding on it, right? You want to know how many windows are in the room, the floor type, colors, ages of all the mechanicals and everything. And you want to send this to people if you can before every showing. Or you know how most agents will call you, Ben, before they make an offer? Hey, I just want to share this information with you. My client will not negotiate or repair anything that's disclosed in here. Please let your buyers know before they make an offer. That's it. Pretty cool, right? And you could take this and turn this into marketing and all kinds of stuff. But again, this is why it's really important to have a VA. Nancy, in a perfect world, I don't know what human on earth would not want to do an inspection before they sold a home. It is the smartest $500, $600, $700 you could ever spend in your life. It's like if you were taking a test, why wouldn't you want all the answers in advance? Because when you get, and I try to explain this to clients, is when you get to that part, right? It's all emotion and it's all ego. It's small stuff, right? On $1 million home, what people want is generally less than 1%. It's negligent in what they want. So you give them the home inspection in advance. All right, keys to effective partnership. Now, I always tell people it's not pricing, it's positioning, but this document was created for one purpose, to create role clarity. Do you think it's clear to the people that you work for what you actually do in the transaction? Nope. And in the end, the words that we use convey words that they blame us for everything. So I would say to Nancy and Jennifer, who are my clients for the day, like, hey, before we go through positioning your home on the market, would you agree? Can we align on one simple concept? So this is a script. And they're going to say, yeah, of course. Would you agree there are things that you could control as the owner of the home, things that I could control as the agent you partner with? See, I'm assuming the sale. And ultimately things that neither one of us control. They're going to say, yeah. So can you control the price at which you put your home on the market? Yes. Can you control the condition on which your home is when it is on the market? Yes. Can you control the terms which you offer a buyer? Yes. Can you ultimately control how difficult or easy you make a buyer or agent to be able to view your property? Yes. Are there any other things you feel as the owner of this home you could control? No. Closed loop, this is your job and this is what you control. What can I control? Can I control the visual story I tell of your home? Yes. Can I control the strategy and execution of our marketing and advertising campaign? Yes. Can I control the communication and customer service, getting you the exact information in a time that works best for you? Yes. And lastly, can I control the negotiation strategy once we have a buyer? Yes. Is there anything else you feel I can control? You know what the answer is? I don't know anyone who can give me the answer because the answer is no. Guess what happened there? In their mind, because of the way that the questions are asked, like, oh, okay, this is what Chirag does for me. Great. Now, there are things that neither one of us control. Can either one of us control world events? No. Can we control the local economy? No. Can we control what the stock market does? No. Can we control what the Fed does with interest rates? No. Now, here's where all the money is buried all the way in the end. Can either one of us control the prices your neighbors choose to accept for their homes? No. Can either one of us control the prices buyers are willing to pay for homes? No. So ultimately, Jennifer and Nancy, would you agree it's a partnership of what I can control and you can control working against what neither one of us control? Now, I challenge any of you to disagree with my statements there. It's impossible. So now when you have some shitty comp that they're all pissed off about, like, praise him, you know what you do? You kind of, you go nod your head and you go, yeah, it's terrible the price your neighbor was willing to accept for your home. What do you think we should do? That's it. I can't believe the homes are selling for this price. This is ridiculous. My home's worth more. Yeah, it's terrible what the buyers are willing to pay for homes in your neighborhood. Let's strategize on how we can maximize your equity. Is that difficult? I'm telling you, when it comes to pricing property in this conversation, we have it down to a science here like no one has ever seen in your life. I remember when I made those two lines up, I was like, this is good. And I remember I brought it to the group. They're like, where do you come up with this stuff? Again, I'll tell you, this is the weird stuff I come up with in the shower, working out, 11, 12, 1 a.m. But these are things that help create clarity for both parties, right? Client experiences, why were testimonials created? Have you ever watched an infomercial at the end of the infomercial, no matter like how much you hate working out at home, you're like, this, I could do this. I want this. Because testimonials are created to activate psychological triggers in your brain through other people's experiences, right? So write down the 3 to 5 objections you have with somebody working for you and pick people to highlight those. And that's what you're going to put in your listing book. And you're going to get rid of the word testimonials and you're going to change it to client experiences. People want experiences that other people want. All right. The Compass listing book, you can look at this to kind of tailor your own thing. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, right? But there'll be some customization that you have to do, but at least we framed out what it is. The part that I want to get to you is the book, right, is in the weeds deep on what you do. So what I always tell people, I leave the book there. I never hand it to them, right? Why? Because it's a beautiful black book. If it's something sits in front of you long enough and you turn it around and face it towards the client, eventually they're going to say, Shrug, what is that? Oh, I'm really glad you asked. I know that in our conversation today, you're trying to make a really big decision. And also the most important thing is moving and how this integrates into your life and everything else. So in trying to make this as easy as possible, I'm going to go through all the things that you shared are most important to you. And here's all the information of how we work in the details. So if you need to refer back to something, please take a look at any point. And I have my personal, don't let people know that your cell phone's your cell phone. Like I always tell people, this is my personal cell, which is true. So I put my personal cell phone in. So if you have questions, happy to set up a time to connect with you. It's addition by subtraction and simplification. These slides were created in an AI platform called beautiful.ai. So there are two great AI programs for slides. There's Gamma.ai and Beautiful.ai. They're both good for different things. Gamma's cool because you can actually program all your branding and stuff in there. So take a look at it if you want to join me in the AI hole. All right, AI integrations, we're going to get into our live demo shortly, but here's the thing. We've figured out a way for all of you to take the things you do every day that we don't know how to tailor, we don't know how to personalize, and personalize them for you, right? Listing presentation, digital ads, and a CMA. But ultimately, what we want to do is create a personalized experience for your clients that sets you up apart and for success. All right, so before we go through the AI demo, anyone that wants to role play or is on this list before, please take 3 minutes right now before we go to the AI demo and put your name and information on this list. This is who we are going to invite to our first session this week.
Which list now? We
Just
already
click
did.
the link in the chat.
Oh. Again?
If you have put your name and information in there, you don't have to do it, but we have a lot of names and emails without phone numbers, time zones, and information.
And the first time you all didn't ask for phone numbers, so it's good to do it again.
It says editing is temporarily unavailable.
It
Just
should
add
be that anyone can join. Hold on. Justin, you here?
Yeah.
I'm in the spreadsheet. It's fine.
So anyone that's on here, go in here, find your name. And if you want to know a fast way to find your name, just hit Command F and just type your name in and it'll bring you to it and fill in your information. So if you put your information in the chat, it's not going to end up on the sheet. So just Lisa, Namita, Jennifer, click the link and just add your information in and we'll get our group started this week. Now, look, this to me, practicing is the single most important thing. I know the majority of you here are parents. You would never, ever in your life tell your kids that want to be great at anything not to practice.
What if we're driving and can't input anything in?
We will just check the weekly recap. It went out Saturday at 10 a.m. your local time zone. Just type in revenue roadmap and it should come up. And please, if you're driving, do not try doing this while driving.
Quick
Okay,
thing,
thank you.
I'm working on it right now. I think another agent and I were simultaneously working a line, and now it's part me and part the other agent. So someone's in College Station. It looks like
That's
our
me.
info.
Put us on the same line. I'll move.
So you what? Say it again.
You said she'll move the line. Thank you, Jody.
That's me. I'll switch to another line.
Thank you. Okay.
I wish I could play the Jeopardy music. All right, we'll give everyone 2 more minutes and we'll hop into our AI demo. We'll keep on keeping on. But I'm telling you this, and I'm going to say this over and over again. You're going to sound like a broken record. One, if I were all of you, here's what I know the most successful agents in a group do. One, they join the main group session, right? But 2, they find buddies, right? And if I was doing this for the next month, I'd reach out to, let's see, Michael, Mark, Nick, Katrina, Jessica, Claire, Jen. I'd find 4 to 6 different role play partners. I'd be practicing this as much as I humanly could. Because here's the thing, once you know how to do this, everything else is easier. You can use this on job interviews, I have NFL football players that use this in their marriage. And if you think anything's scary, have some guy who's like 6'6", 300 pounds come up to you, be like, I tried your relationship check-in with my wife. Like, Jesus Christ, they might be the day that I die. Right? They're like, it's changed my whole life. Right? The same questions work, whether you're doing a job interview. It works as well for relationships. It works for your clients. It is the most universal thing in the world because it's based on how human psychology works, right? So if anyone cannot add their name to the list, just put can't add to the list here and we'll go back in the chat. So, all right, let's get started with our AI demo. Okay.
If you can't add your name, also what's your email and your number so we can copy and paste it in.
Yep. Put it all in one. All right, so there are a few things that we're going to want to do here. My question is, how did everyone like the playbooks that we had last time? Was that easy, that everything was in one place and there's not multiple resources? What we're actually going to do, instead of, we'll link the resources in the session, but we'll add the resources in a separate tab into this playbook, right? So this way, everything you need is in one place. So first, we're going to go back to just some basics, right? So we'll create a new project here. Well, it's 109 Greens Farms Road. Great project. Right. So instructions, right? For any of you that has not done this pre-patch, we're going to want to copy and paste these instructions in so that this knows how to think about providing us information. Now, the first thing that we're going to want to do is start adding some files. It. You know what? Maybe we'll go back to an old one then. 109 Screens Farms Road. So this has our seller pre-qualification as well as our listings docs. So I'm just going to delete these chats so we can start fresh. So now we've uploaded our listing presentation and the qualification docs. Now let's go in the process of asking you questions. So this is a recap of what we did last time. So you just put in the client's name, say Summer. So this is building the muscle of its knowledge base, right? So she's going to go here, and while this loads, we'll go back here to our next prompt. Now based on the presentation book I attached. Now, when you're done with your Med C and you upload it here, right? You're going to want to upload your listing book. So while this loads, it's going to go through all the areas I need to focus on. Now, the next part is understanding what's not in my book, right? Because you got to remember this. The most important part is we want to tailor everything that we're doing for that specific client. And if you're not following this process, it's almost impossible to do it with this much accuracy. right? Communication, strategic targeted marketing. I can now go here and say what parts are not in my book, right? It's giving you suggestions on what we say. And I would take what they're suggesting to say with a grain of salt. Now, what's not in my book? So this will go through what's not my book, right? So I'm going to copy the next prompt here. Is this simple to do for everybody? Like there's no tech skills required, right? You just have to follow the directions. See, look, there's our communication plan that we have.
Quick question. So do you have to, can you just upload everything in the beginning, even your listing book? And then
Absolutely.
you cut and paste those independently
Prompt.
and then it communicates, prompt them, and then you put the next question in the next one. You don't have to add the listing book prior to asking the question. That's what was a little confusing.
Well, you want to have the listing book in there. If not, it doesn't have anything to pull from. So think of the file. Everyone, that's a great question.
But
Think
you
about the
could do it from
files.
the beginning. You don't have to do it before the question. You do all the uploads right away,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah,
ask
and
them.
like if you add things later in time, like future conversations, you just keep adding them, right? So think of this as like your knowledge base. If you have new knowledge, you want to put it in the knowledge base, right? So here's a summary of what to prepare. Now, here's another thing. What are the blind spots in my presentation? Right? It's so important. Like this to me has been like one of the greatest unlocks is about blind spots, right? Because we often don't think about this. We just think about what we offer and what we're really excited, right? But again, this goes all back to her Med C. Emotional connection to the home is missing. No visual assurance of a proactive communication plan. No proof you can sell without renovations. Overemphasis on features, underemphasis on your strategic advice. Not personal enough, feels like a generic pitch, right? So here's a summary and fixes, right? What parts of my presentation book should I remove so the book makes the client feel like it was created for them? All the prompts will be available in our weekly recap playbook. You see how good this is? Summer's not a data-driven, corporate-minded seller. She didn't ask about volume, reach, or size. She asked about local knowledge, proactive communication, and guidance. Duplicate and overuse Compass buzzwords. Slides focuses on services she won't use. Pages with vague marketing promises. Too much emphasis on team structure if irrelevant. And here's your summary. I can go back to the project. And now I'm going to want to add in the CMA. So now I can go here. Here's my CMA super prompt. I'm going to stick this in here. See, even if you set up a collection in advance, right? And then you sent this to them like the day before, after you sent Robert's like 3-phase marketing email, it shows that you're prepared. People need time, especially if they're unrealistic about price. Here it is, what the data tells us, how your home fits, strategic pricing recommendations, next steps. I know this isn't just about numbers, it's about your home, your time, your future. I'm happy to walk through any part of this in more detail or exploring pricing scenarios with you. Let's make you feel like you talk soon. Here's an alternative version for an analytical risk-averse seller. Seller profiling guidance, right? We added to this, right? So I would say my client is, I don't know, somebody pick one of these.
Data driven.
Okay. My client is a data-driven seller. Update accordingly. Now, again, you have to go and check all of this information, right? Like, it does make some mistakes. It's not human, but guess what? It's much faster than starting at 0. Look at this. I've concluded a comprehensive review of comparable homes in your community. I wanted to share a data and logic that inform my strategic pricing recommendation. However, that has shown that even upgraded homes require alignment with market trends to attract serious buyers. This isn't about underpricing, it's about choosing a range that supports your goals, reducing time on market, maximizing net proceeds, and avoiding unnecessary price reductions later. This range leverages market behavior and recent buyer decisions in Kobe Farms to put us in a position of strength. I'm happy to review this together, walk through any scenarios, or make refinements based on your feedback. Pretty good, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to want to do is I want to show up to this listing with a really detail driven report on where buyers come from, because the most underutilized thing, especially on pitches that I've figured out over the last, like I would say 45 days, is these migration reports in our digital ads platform. Our digital ads platform allows us to market to buyers anywhere in the country like this, right? But here's the question. We have no idea what to do, right? So I'm just going to make this up. 109 Greens Farms Road, Westport, CT. Jennifer, I will be in New Jersey for the Think Big conference in a couple of weeks, so I look forward to meeting you. What is the listing price? We'll say 1.4 million. Broader audience. So look at this. I know this is where I want to market in New York City. I know this is where I want to market in Brooklyn, Hoboken, Boston. Here's the migration context, buyer motivations. Now, if you showed up to your pitch, is there any other agent that's not here in America that's actually having one of these reports? Yes or no? Not a chance. You want to talk about going into the weeds to figure out how to do this? This is like, you call me a professional weed whacker for this one. Like, buyer profile, emotional and practice drivers, marketing strategy action plan, recommended platforms. I would remove that, right? Messaging strategy. You could choose to remove that. Offline strategy. Here's your summary table. So I would write in this, I would like you to create this into a report that I can share with my client. There should be a clear introduction on what the report is about, why it is important, and how the information drives my my digital marketing strategy to maximize their exposure to the right buyers to maximize the equity in their home. The client reading the report should feel that I am a real estate strategist with national access and technology tools that drives results that other agents cannot without ever saying those words, sounding salesy or pushy. This report was developed to uncover exactly where the most likely buyers for your home are coming from, why they're moving, and how they strategically reach them. In today's real estate landscape, local exposure is no longer enough. By understanding migration trends, buyer psychology, and zip code level data, we ensure your home is seen by those most motivated and financially equipped to act. These insights will have a targeted digital marketing campaign designed to maximize exposure and equity by aligning your listing with the buyers most likely to find it. Well, I would only put those into the ones that you were going to use this from. This pulls from a variety of different websites, right? So you can say here, close this. Can you cite your sources for the data? Yes, and remove the suggested digital platforms and messaging recommendations. How you choose to do this is fine, right? I would put my logo on it. I don't know if it's worth spending endless hours putting this into Marketing Center if you want to. You could print it and put it into your book, right? And look, and this is it. The whole thing is done. Once it finishes going through here, again, always check over the information. And I would change this use digital ad platform to the Compass digital ad platform. And there it is. All right, so let me hop back up here and read through some of these questions. When you go back to a project, all of this stuff, Laura, is saved. All the prompts will be in your weekly recap email. So we're turning all of our stuff into playbooks. So any of the links to the resources and everything, every week will be in one Google Doc where you have the seller section, the buyer section. This week there'll be another Compass bonus section, but it'll be prospecting in the future, links to role play groups. So what all the information that you normally have to click around a bunch of emails and everything, we put it into one Google Doc. I see a bunch of you watch my little AI twin. So there'll be a 90 to 2 minute recap that we give you in a video. There'll be one document to go to, and that's it. Like that is the simplicity. Now, we had one person submit their win, If you have a win and you've been in our coaching program, I'm going to put the link in here so that you can submit your win and enter our raffle for a free coaching call with me. Yeah, Andrea, the reason to customize that black book is it's a good leave behind, right? There's so much information covered. You want to give people that to leave behind. It's branded, it looks nice, it sets you apart, and it's just a nice thing to leave with somebody. Let's go through the rest of these questions. Let's see, again, I would only put the zip codes in here that you want to target to. Mark, you can ask it. Mark Oliver, you can ask it to do anything you want. I would say in Compass, like you put like a few $100s in the digital ad, that's good enough. I don't know all the tech errors in ChatGPT. So please just Google it or go into ChatGPT and type in the problem and I'll be able to do it. Denise, can you click our win form and just add your win, what part of the coaching you use, and we'll enter you into the raffle. Andrew, I don't really care about the details because in the end of the day, all of your competition does not have access to you, your brain. It's like having somebody's grandma's meat sauce recipe. You can never make the recipe the same as grandma. And the people that are going to take that information and share it with people generally are bad clients to begin with. So I don't really worry about that. All right, Denise, somebody from our team will call you and we'll walk you through it. Namita.
I know, yeah, this might be a silly question, but I need clarity. So what's the difference between AI and ChatGPT? We had Compass AI and we have other AI, and then we need
There's
to
a
get
million
ChatGPT.
different. So think of it like this. They're different social platforms like Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. ChatGPT is just one AI platform that you can use. In my opinion, it's just the most basic, simple one. It's like Instagram or Facebook, right? So like you can go on a Snapchat, which is like a whole nother world, but everything that we've figured out how to do with all of your Compass stuff, uploading CMAs, the way that the project tool is set up here, it actually really works well to power a real estate business. So that's the one we recommend. Now, all of these different platforms are all good at different things, but my recommendation, again, you're all free to do whatever you want. I would just start mastering one, right?
So why don't we use our Compass AI? What's the
Because it's
difference?
different.
That's what I'm asking.
It's built for Compass, right? So OpenAI is a whole different thing. So projects, the camera feature, and all these other little bells and whistles is not in Compass AI. Right? Compass AI, I think the real future of it is what they shared at the retreat when you're like, can you make me a collection for Nomita and Joyce? And this, and this? Like that will be the future of their AI. Outside of that, this is what I recommend using. Our system works with, to simplify this for everybody, our system works with ChatGPT. It's the easiest, most user-friendly platform that I find, and you don't need any complicated tech skills to use it. Mary, you have a question? Oh, okay. All right, it's 12:30 on the dot. So it was a very, yeah, I'm hungry too now, Mindy. It's a very productive session. Happy Monday to all of you. We'll circulate an email out to all of those who want to join the role play group. Make sure to put in your information. On Wednesday, we're going to be doing, Summer and I are going to be doing another Compass One session. On Thursday, we'll have our first role play session, right? I'm going to hop on for like 5-10 minutes, just kind of set the stage for what it's like. And then Justin will be your host. We plan 4 to start out with, but I highly encourage you to keep these groups going. And I promise you this, you will never, ever lose anything in your life for time by practicing the Med-C over and over and over and over again. Think about all of this cool stuff we could do with AI. It's all based on having that initial information, right? So look, and for anyone that thinks this is a lot of information, just go to our playbook and practice what you learned from this week and keep integrating what you learned last week. And this is part of the reason that we repeat the tracks, right? There's so much stuff for you to learn. It's almost impossible to learn it all in 1 week, right? So love in my heart, love you all. Everyone have an amazing weekend. The playbook is sent in your email, right? Everyone gets an email. If you're not on the email, just email info@chiragshahcoaching.com and our team will look into that for you. Laura and Christine, get ready for a handful of emails. All right, bye everybody.
Okay.